Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Iron Grenadier B.A.T. Now I know what you guys are saying. Punk, they never made an Iron Grenadier B.A.T. How can they do that? Well, because it's called imagination, and if you want to only make the O-ring figures, eventually the line is going to die, and the whole purpose of making toys is to continue on to make new stuff. And if you want to give me cool looking bats, I'm all for it. So anyway, let's take a look at this guy. Quickly, we can already see that he has a bunch of the stuff that the originals had and the Arctic B.A.T, which once again, they also didn't make that one either. So quickly here, we just got the chainsaw that came with the Arctic B.A.T. We got the Arctic back head here, got the regular B.A.T face, the look of the bat in the Iron Grenadier colors. Here we have a pretty cool artwork, number 134 on the line. There's his attributes, and there is the QR code that leads you to hell. And then on the back here, we can see all the Iron Grenadiers, including him in the back. So anyway, I am excited to look at this. I love bats. The first bat that they made is almost a perfect figure. It's hard to say something's a perfect figure, but it was almost a perfect figure. So anyway, let's take a look at this one. Let's get into it. Let's see if it's worth you spending your money on. I know I have a lot of bats and people have way more than I do. So anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, please take a second. If you like what I'm giving you, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, and hit that subscribe button. And I did that all out of order. Anyway, let's get to this. Okay, so we got him out of his plastic prison, and we'll take a look at everything that he does come with. And the first thing that we're going to get is a repainted head sculpt. Now, again, this is one of those things that you can probably use this hopefully on different versions. And I know a lot of people like the red face there. It's got the silver, but he does have the gold. So you'll know exactly which one this goes to. This is obviously the Iron Grenadier because of the gold spots. Or if we take a look at this one here, he's all silver with obviously silver right back there. So we've seen this 100 times before. I think this looks absolutely awesome. And the fact that he has the shark fin, I think actually works perfect, right? It fits in with the Iron Grenadier's look. All right, we have his pistol, which is still one of the better pistols in my opinion. It has either a laser scope or a flashlight. Two things that I'm assuming an Android like this doesn't need. But you got the silver slide on it. This weapon has always looked good. All right, port for blast effects, and it is soft. It is gummy, unfortunately. But again, as long as it's straight, I don't really care. Then we have his... This was the gun. I always thought this was the flamethrower as a kid. All just painted gold. I do love the fact that you have some design throughout it. All right, this is the same one that we've seen before, and we'll see if it works with the other bats, because there were some issues with some of them. All right, and it almost looks like, I don't know if that's supposed to be offset like that, but that's definitely offset, or maybe that's just paint that didn't fill up in that gap there. Then we have the flamethrower, all painted gold. And again, now I understand this is the igniter here. So you got your, I believe this actually sparks it. Now, this is soft. Like, I'll say it again. I don't know what Hasbro is doing. I don't understand what they're trying to do, but I don't think any of the other ones were that soft, and we'll see in a second. But the design on this, once again, is still good, as you obviously have the vents for the flame that's going to be coming out here. Again, always really like this. And then we obviously have our claw, all painted. I feel like this is painted rather than molded in gold. And I feel like if that's true, like what I'm thinking it is, and we'll see it start to scratch off if it is, it kind of loses its look. Where every time you paint something, especially like this, it starts to dull out the detail. Where if we look at this one right here, the detail just looks sharper on everything. So I definitely believe that this is all paint. Looking at that, you can see that it's painted. So to me, it takes away from it. I don't know why you just didn't mold it in yeah, in gold plastic. So that does that has a little give right there, where this one here has way more give and moves side to side. So again, different plastic. It seems like I can feel right here that it's way different than this piece right here. So as long as it's straight, I guess I'm gonna be okay with it. Here we have the chainsaw that came with the Arctic Bat. I actually don't have one here. You can see some Arctic Bat pieces on the Crimson Bat right there. The teeth are painted gold. You got you got this piece that's black. You got the exhaust here. All that's painted. So I think this looks pretty good. I don't mind the paint on this because you're actually giving it two different colors. It's everything else, and I guess this is all probably in black because it comes off the same. And then here we have the backpack. It can only hold 3 different things. So it can hold his hand, it can hold the claw, the gun, the flamethrower. You can't really hold this. And it's kind of a disappointment. The nunchucks here are painted red. They're not nunchucks. Before someone tells me. But again, you got some gears and everything because obviously everything is robotic on this. So I think this does look really good. I've never really got a full answer of what this is. If somebody knows, please let me know because I've never asked Lenny about it. And these will just kind of plug right in. Now, if you don't have a bat, some sort of bat, I'm absolutely shocked by it. All right. But these do just kind of plug right in. At least they're supposed to. This thing just, it's so soft. Look at that. I hate that. The other ones didn't do that. And they do seem tighter, so that might be a good thing because we had an issue with this right here. All right. So now let's take a look at, oh yeah, then we have, can't even see them on here, 2 clear chest pieces. Now this is stuff that people have wanted forever. So here's one clear one, all right, and then we have a cracked clear one. So I believe it was 1 per case was 3D printing these. Everyone really liked it because people wanted the clear piece over that. It didn't really matter to me, but I understand why. All right, so the head sculpt that he comes on is the same as the Arctic Bat, which is a really cool design. And when it's painted in these colors, it almost looks like a completely different head sculpt. All right, so take a look at it. We got all this red around here. I guess you kind of think like maybe this is infrared. What he's supposed to have here is supposed to protect him, not protect him from the Arctic, but stop the glare, or at least on the bat helmet, that's how it was. All right. It's got the same, oh, you know, I never realized that the back piece is the exact same. So it's actually just a cap that goes over. Oh, that's interesting. So I never realized this, but this is just a cap that goes over it. So this piece is obviously supposed to come off, and they put a different headpiece on it. Huh. Very interesting. I reviewed 4 of these and never realized that. All right. So anyway, you have more like a what looks like a jaw here. It looks like you could actually put a human head in there if you wanted. Neck is sitting there. Looks pretty good. These gears look better than some of the other colors. I do think that these are fine because it's more like the classic colors, but they also look pretty dull. You got all your red, all your electronics, all your circuitry, and then you just have the 3 little black pieces running through there. You got your 2 flashbangs there. All right. Nice red that runs down there. You can see where they're put together. That's pretty cool. They're kind of clamped together on both of those. Those are things I didn't notice before. It looks like they're just kind of clamped. That's how they're held together. That's what it looks like. You got your belt, a couple pouches right there, or 1 pouch right there, a couple pouches around the back. I'm not really sure why a bat needs pouches. You have your holster there, drop down leg holster people love. Right there. Like these 2 things, but especially this, that really pops it. It just gives it more of a feel. Around the legs here, you have your red, and then they always seem to color code or color this piece different. So you can clearly tell these aren't regular boots, which is good. They made them all Android, which isn't bad. So let's see how he feels, all right? So he can look up that far. He can look down that far. You can see the neck moves back and forth. Now, I guess here he also has the ability for his neck to move back and forth, which I never noticed. But that neck is way longer. Maybe it's just this helmet. And we'll find out once we change it. All right. So there's his T-pose. Perfect. He's got the bicep swivel, double pinless joints. Got your wrist that obviously swivel. This guy's actually really, really smooth. Ab crunch goes down to right there, pretty much because I think this is in the way. You can go back there, turn side to side. He'd have a perfect Jean-Claude Van Damme. The problem is that this gets in the way. What I do like about this is, unlike the Super 7 Ultimate, that piece doesn't break. Drop down hips, right? You got your thigh swivel. Pinless knees. This was one of the first all pinless figures, if I remember correctly. There's your thigh cut and your boot cut. Ooh, look at that. His knees are pretty tight. Definitely feel a little... Nah, the other one did. This one didn't. Boot cut looks good. All right. So let's throw on this clear piece and see how it looks. And see if it's even worth putting on. And maybe throw on the black one. Kind of swap some stuff around. So... that goes on very clear, so it's hard to tell, but you get a nice glare. I do like the idea of the glare there. It really shows it off pretty well. I have so many of these chest pieces. Now, let's throw it on here. All right? Because there were some issues. This guy here, that is held on by sticky tack because it does not stay on. Here's the cracked one. So this tends to... so this is loose, all right? So if you want to use it on the bat, which is what everyone wanted to use it on, I don't think it's going to fit. Which means it also won't fit on that one right there. All right? So you can put it on, but it's loose. Like, this is going to pop off really easily. Where on him... it fits on and it stays really well. So I take this black one here and I pop that on. Well, oddly enough, this one stays on good. So let's take this and try it again. This is a different bat. This is the cracked one. So they made a change that somewhere in the mold and the design on either this or the figure on both of them, well, actually have to be on both of them, it'll stay on, but it won't stay on, like, so the other pieces will fit on here, which is nice, but I guess that's kind of an issue. All right, I pop the hand off and throw this little flamethrower on, and it doesn't look bad at all. But now my question is, if I take his hand off and I want to throw on the chainsaw, does it fall off? Because if you remember my other one, I had a lot of issues with the chainsaw just falling right off. And this one actually stays on pretty nicely. So I don't think that's bad. Actually, I think that's actually really good, to be honest. All right. But if I grab, oh, he has it on him. Just grab the claw here. So claw and the saw fit on really nice. You're not going to get that clear piece on, unfortunately. That is disappointing. Actually comes off. They actually come off easier. So now Bear with me, guys. Thank you. Please take a second and hit that like button if you haven't yet. So these are... That is nice and tight there. So a lot of these are molded at a different... The peg piece is molded at a different... Not different, just slightly different. And you will have issues. You have to go back and watch my other bats. I was not going to rewatch them all. As much as I enjoy all this, rewatching all that stuff isn't always the most entertaining for me. But I have them out here, so I want to see how they fit. And let's see here with his chainsaw. Yeah, the chainsaw fits on much better than before. All right. So maybe all the people that have been waiting on the Arctic bats, maybe they're going to get a different one. Maybe they'll have fixed it. I really doubt it. But hopefully for your guys' sake that they will. All right. So let's pop the head off here. And right there I can see the issue. See that? So now we want to put on the old bat. So that head joint, not going to fit. So if you wanted to swap things around, you actually have to remove the neck joint right here, which means you have to remove possibly this one, or what's the other one that, oh, the Python Patrol. I think he has black. The Python Patrol and this one have the same neck joint. The Arctic Bat, because of this, and the Crimson Bat use this neck peg. And obviously, it uses it with this guy too. So I should be able to pop this head on here. So if you want to put the red face on your Crimson Bat, you can. The red is a little bit more bright, but you can just say, hey, that's the Android face. I really hate that they changed these neck pegs. It is one of those things that is the most inconvenient thing that they did. So, as I showed you before, I know I'm getting off the Iron Grenadier Bat, but you can say I had to use sticky tack because I wanted something different. That doesn't stay on. So you need some sticky tack. Problem is, and this one is super loose. Yeah. As much as I like this bat, he's super loose. This thing here is much tighter than before. Much tighter than that one. The original bat, no problem. Alright, so now you can put the battle damage head on here. Just use some sticky tack. You don't even notice. But I do want to look now. So here's the head of the regular bat. We're going to throw on this one here. And I think what we have is two completely different neck heights. Look at that. Which should mean that this guy is just a slight bit taller than him, because the neck should sit up a little bit higher. So I think he's just a slight bit taller than him. Either way, you can't use this head. That is a total misfortune, which means you got to remove the neck and do all kinds of stuff. I don't know. Very disappointing. Why Hasbro wasn't able to do it? Is it a factory thing? Is it a G.I. Joe thing? Is it a Hasbro thing? I don't know. It's either way, it's highly aggravating and annoying. All right, so I'm gonna throw this up here. Real tight joints. So where they started getting loose, it feels like they definitely tighten those up. I hate the fact that I'm gonna throw a clear one on this, and I really want the clear one on one of my bats. But can't really use. I'm gonna put a chainsaw on this bad boy. So here we go. We got the chainsaw. I think it's gonna fall off a lot. I apologize for this huge mess now that's sitting in front of me. Pick up the hand, throw the hand in here. Now the thing is, you cannot, if you have the chainsaw, you can't hold all the pieces on your person. So this guy here has to decide what he doesn't want to have. It is a robot, so I'm sorry, an android. So once again, no issues posing these figures. And because they are androids and robots, or whatever you want to call them, they can do all kinds of things, all kinds of poses. They can hold that chainsaw all the way out if need be, and chop down the Cobra Christmas tree. Here he is next to one of the Iron Grenadiers. And you can see the red looks pretty good next to each other. So there you go. If you're interested, you can go out and pick one up. They are available at BBTS. At least they should be. They'll be available everywhere else real soon. Walmart is starting to find them. I have not got it. But again, if you're going to give me another bat, awesome. But I definitely do have a few complaints. And that being that that chest piece doesn't fit the old bats. But I had an issue with this chest piece not fitting these bats and the neck pegs. Come on, Hasbro. Just get your shit together. Okay, so quickly, something I totally forgot was he does have the Iron Grenadier insignia right there with the swords. This is the exact same one that the Iron Grenadier soldier comes with. So they are trying to mark exactly who they are, which is actually pretty cool. But again, I completely missed it. And I know someone would eventually point that out. So there you go. All right, so there you go. That is my review of the G.I. Joe Classified Iron Grenadier Bat. And as I mentioned, the bat was like almost a perfect figure. Completely pinless. He was able to move in all kinds of different ways. He had all his classic stuff. He looked absolutely awesome. So to repaint him, I have no problem with, as I mentioned. But the fact that I can't use the chest piece on some of the other bats, I can't use the head on some of the other bats, is a problem. The fact that it feels like they fixed this part, so I can use that on some of them. And if you have the Arctic Bat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The chainsaw, if I am correct, doesn't want to stay on. It's just a nightmare. So the fact that they can't get this all together, I don't know why I'm waving it like this, is frustrating. But the neck peg is going to be a huge problem until people stop using the old figures. And I don't know if they're ever going to. It's going to take a long time to weed out all those other figures. I guess we'll see what happens. We know they're going with the smaller neck peg, which doesn't make any sense because every other company, Valaverse, Fresh Monkey Fiction, I think Marvel Legends are all using that bigger ball joint for the head. So you're basically saying you can't use our head sculpts on anyone else. Now you can use it on someone else's, put it on ours, put a little bit of sticky tack in, and you're good. Anyway, that's enough of my griping. If you want them, go out and get them. Walmart has them. I think he's going to be available everywhere. BBTS has them. You can get them at Entertainment Earth on pre-order. I believe you can still get them on Hella Dope Toys if you want to get them. But I've spoken enough. I'm going to get out of here now. But before I do, please, if you're on Facebook, check out the Facebook page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Now, don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe classified video. And as we know, there's been a lot. Now, don't go anywhere. Right up here, I'm going to leave the new Alpine review. And down here is going to be a playlist of all the classified figures I've done. Take care.